Dude, you're still on hold?
It's been a nightmare. I mean, I did get a brief chuckle when she said I was 69th in line, but other than that, it's been a slog.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back for another Ghost interview on Collider. So excited to have Asher Grodman this time around. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm so excited to see you. You're the best in the biz. It's an honor
We've
to be-
never done a one-on-one interview.
Really?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Wow. I feel like we have, but maybe that's just because you're so thorough in all things.
I very much so, and that's not going to stop here.
Good.
For our viewers out there watching, just one warning: this interview will contain spoilers through episode 5. So if you have not seen the epic 1-2 punch of 4 and 5, this interview is not for you. You go watch them and come right back and press play after you have seen them. So safe space to spoil everything.
And if your friends haven't seen it, don't tell your friends. Let them have their moment.
And tell them to rush out and go watch it.
That's right.
Before I dig into the details here, two personal questions inspired by these first episodes. The first one leans into the title of episode 4. Do you have any good personal bring your child to work day memories?
I don't. Well, actually, I guess I kind of do. Yeah, I would. My dad used to run this clinical laboratory that he started, and they would have a really great Christmas party that I would go to every year growing up. And my dad would would always be like, we're gonna stand by the front door and shake every person's hand as they came in. So I remember that, and I remember they used to do a Halloween party too, where my dad is a big Lions fan, and they made him a Lions jersey with his name on it, and he loved it. So those are my two memories that pop out.
A Lions fan and a Jaguars fan.
I know. Well, one kind of led to the other because I was raised as a Lions fan, and my mom was worried that we were going to suffer too much and weren't going to have any friends. So she told my dad that it was wrong, and so he told us we weren't allowed to be Lions fans anymore. We had to pick our own teams, and I picked the Jaguars because they just started. It was their first year.
I
So,
appreciate how your parents were looking out.
yeah.
As a Jets fan, I appreciate that mentality when you're starting young.
Let me tell you, there is nothing better than the memes that come out when the Jets suck.
No.
It is so funny. I'm sure we've all seen the Instagram reels of children weeping because they have to watch the Jets. It's so funny. And I really wanted, there was a period where I was like, I think Aaron Glenn might be the guy who I want in Jacksonville. But I think we got the right guy. But yeah, I both feel bad for the Jets, and I can't, it's just so funny. It's good when a city with the creative potential of New York is also suffering because they handle it in the best way. Or the worst way, which is the best way.
What a good way to look at it. I love that. I'm going to come back to football at the end of this conversation. I got a very specific question I want to ask you. But first, another personal question that pertains to something that happens in episode 5. How did your parents react when you told them that you wanted to get both a BA and an MFA in acting?
Actually, they were they weren't wild about the MFA. That was a bit of a little conflict, but it wasn't because of being an actor. My parents have always been like, we don't care what you do, but you better bust your ass trying to do it. So they've always been supportive of me being an actor. I think the MFA was just like, you're gonna hang it up for 3 years. Shouldn't you just go out and try to get a job? That was the debate around that. But yeah, they're very supportive. Super supportive, and I was very lucky for that because this business is very hard. And so you need all the help you can get.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right, digging into what goes down in these first 2 episodes. First, I want to start with a broader question about working with Gideon. And, I know she was on the show last season, but this is a pretty epic 1-2 punch that her character has on Trevor this time around. So I wanted to know something you saw her do on set while working on either of these episodes that I guess kind of made you stop and go, I knew you were a good fit for this role, but that right there, that's why we needed you for this character and no one else.
Yeah, that's God. She's that good question. I feel like I need to go like study our show before I talk to you every time. Something that I love about, yeah, I love Gideon, but something that I really love about her work is there is such an ease to her work. It's just so like it's so natural. It's so like free flowing and very authentic, and it's not quite something that you know, we have many days of just being eight Muppets, you know, running around our set. We're not far from like Clue, you know, in terms of our tone. So to get someone who's so grounded, um, it's a great like, especially for Trevor. Trevor, it's like a really great juxtaposition or foil for him. And I remember watching Gideon particularly in that last scene where, I mean, we've never really done this before, where someone now knows that one of us is on the property. I'm trying to remember. A previous interview said that it wasn't the case, but I maybe Alberta with her descendants, but I'm not sure that she knows that Alberta's there. Like in a concrete sense, I think she might know that she exists, but I don't know. Anyway, so that this moment we had this, it was like a 9-page scene at the end of the second episode of this two-parter. By the way, just a two-parter in and of itself is pretty rare for us. So I was very grateful that they decided, that the Joes and our writers decided to do one of those for Trevor. And but watching Gideon navigate that 9-page scene, which starts with like just going on a date, and Trevor and not Trevor, Sam and Jay are being weird. Like so much happens in that scene. So watching her navigate, I was like, oh, you're amazing. And yeah, and it's a fun dynamic for Trevor because it's so, being a dad is so antithetical to every decision that he makes. So it's fun to see him in this new kind of crucible.
She fits right in. You all do that all the time, where you navigate like 500 things in a single
I
scene,
know,
and
I
somehow it
know.
comes together seamlessly.
Yeah. Well, look, when you have this concept where almost like it's so limited and yet it opens up so many doors, and they're like infinite doors you can walk through. It is, these scenes end up being very full and very rich. I know as a cast, we're usually like, wait, can we, so much is happening. Can we slow down and just like mine in this spot for like, you know, a while? Cause it's just such a fruitful concept, you know?
Ugh, I get that so much. I want to zero in on the big reveal scene at the end of episode 4. I thought that was so incredibly well done. I'm watching all that happening, and as a viewer, I am getting chills while watching all of that play out. So I want to know if you can feel that working on set. Do you know that you're all pulling that off, or do you not get certainty on that until you see it cut together in the finished product?
I mean, the finished product definitely, there's absolutely a sense that you're just like, I don't know, I'm just throwing this stuff out there. I hope this works. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that that there are so many of us. Like that scene, if I remember correctly, that scene is, and again, I haven't seen it just because it's not available for me to see yet. But it's, I believe it's Sam J, me, Hetty, Thor, and
He
Gideon.
might be in the background.
Is it possible? So that's at least 6 people
I
who are in.
think Bale is in the room
Oh,
too.
Bale is in the room. Of course, Bale is in the room. There might be another ghost. I can't remember. So that's already 4 livings and at least 2 ghosts, maybe more. So it's at least 6 people. And there were, I think, 3 different, like 2 or 3 different props that I have to do something with. And Hetty sticks her head in a purse.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. So, and that room is not big. That is a small room. So blocking that scene, I feel like took an hour for us to figure out how can all of these things happen in a way that we can also cover 6 people and not be here for 3 days. So like there was a lot of that went into that. But it's such a fun challenge for our show. And yes, I guess I had hopes of that this would feel like we're moving through a threshold, like we're moving through into a new territory, because now someone is, one of the central tensions of the show is that we know and no one else does that we're here, these ghosts. So we're breaking through that for the first time. So the hope is that that has a kind of that effect. I haven't seen it to know if it worked yet, but I trust you. So I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Well, sincerely, well, I wouldn't say it to you unless I meant it to my core. Very, very well done.
Thank you.
Before I start to dig into how this might affect Trevor long term, a couple of like tinier details that have burrowed their way into my brain and now I need to ask about. So at the end of episode 4, we get the situation with the water bottle, and it requires a great amount of effort for him to move that water bottle. So it leaves me wondering, how hard is doing the 9 to 5 grind for him? How do you manage that he powers through that every day?
Um, oh yes, the water at the end of episode 5. Yes. Sorry, I was like, water bottle. What are you talking about? Yes.
Which is a good joke because
It is
respect to everybody, but I don't understand why someone's carrying
why
around
we have
water
these. I mean,
bottles.
I carry those water bottles, so I get it. My backpack is basically just carrying a water bottle. Um, but yeah, and the I look. There is a responsibility we have to the fact that these episodes have to stay at like whatever we are, 20 minutes, whatever they are, because theoretically Trevor should be. This should be this like Sisyphean. Is that how you would say that? Rolling the boulder up the hill.
Yeah, like
Guy who wrote
Sisyphus, Sisyphean,
Sisyphean.
maybe.
All right.
Say it
Well,
with authority and I'll believe you.
this Sisyphean task. So yes, uh, it would be so fun, and I hope we do it just as like a runner in an episode, just to see Trevor at work for an episode and just see the effort that has to go through. I hope we do something where we get to play into how exhausting this job must be, because it's very funny for the guy who is always operating at a 10. His desires are just off the charts and all that. For that guy to be exhausted, I think is so fun. So yeah, Trevor's got a hard job. He loves it. He loves it. But it's a hard job.
I would like to see that in one episode eventually, kind of connected to that, because in episode 5, we get the situation where like he's paying Abby's salary. He spent all that money on the Porsche. He offers to pay her tuition. How much money do you think he has squirreled away?
So I've kind of done. I think a modest estimate of what Trevor's probably making is in the world of $90,000 to $100,000 a year, and I think that's modest. So he's earned probably close to $200,000. I don't know how much that Porsche was.
I think it was 200.
Maybe it was. So then he's making significant, because I'm really lowballing that. It's very very easily. It's very easy for me to imagine a world where Trevor's sitting on $500,000.
I would totally believe
I
that.
don't know. I don't think he's paying taxes. So it doesn't exist. Yeah, he's got. I mean, the fact that this guy has more money than Sam and Jay is so funny to me, and I love it. And I love the whole stuff with the labor disputes in that episode. I just think our writers did such a great job with that one. So I'm all for them leaning into this wildly wealthy ghost who can do anything he wants, has no power in life, no power in death, but has now is a small fortune.
Such good writing, such sharp writing with brilliant ideas. I love it. Veering back toward Abby now. First, a question that you likely can't or won't answer, but I must ask. Do you think we'll get to see her again this season, or will we have to wait to the future for more?
I probably can't answer that, but I also can't answer it because we're not done. So
Yeah. Where are you at right now in the process?
we have done 12 of 22.
12 of 22.
12 of 22.
Okay. That helps a little.
Does
Here's maybe a safer question to dig into Abby a little bit. Um, should Abby return in maybe the near future, what do you think is the next lesson that Trevor needs to learn about being a good and supportive dad?
Oh my God. I weirdly think the next lesson. Okay, here's where my head goes to. They have mostly been at odds, which makes me feel like the next thing that should happen is that they should be together and working for a common purpose that causes mayhem. like working together to manipulate something to get her what she wants. So now he's gone from I want you to live the life that I want you to live, and I think he's let that go. And the funny thing about that, of course, is that Trevor, in every aspect of his life, was just saying yes to everything. He had all the sex he wanted, he had all the drugs he wanted, he had all the money he wanted. Like it was just yes to every partying with celebrities. Um, so the idea that he was trying to be like, no, lady, you have to have a plan is like Trevor almost not being Trevor anymore. And weirdly, for me, that the end of that thing is a little bit of Abby being like, this is, I'm like you, let me be. Well, that's not the language on the page, but the dynamic was a little bit, I think that's why he's able to turn the corner so quickly is, oh, this is like the way I live my life. She should live the way I live my life. So with that alignment, I would imagine, I would hope, I shouldn't say, I think it'd be fun if the two of them are collaborating to manipulate a situation.
I like this idea. I'm going to add a little layer to it. I want to see the two of them collaborate, but given the fact that she is one of the more grounded characters we have in the show, I also want her to cause hijinks and then get caught up in it. Like wind up in that like mishap of nonstop errors where like because she knows there are ghosts, she has to get her way out of something Sam style.
Yeah, how great would that be? It's such a we haven't really seen anyone endure the mayhem that poor Sam has to deal with the eight of these morons. Morons, strong word, but these Muppets. So it'd be fun to see someone like Gideon have to navigate that. And there is this thing where she knows that I exist, but she doesn't know there's a bunch of other ones. So there may be something in that too.
So many possibilities as always. So
Such a good
here's
time.
something I want to follow up on from our San Diego Comic-Con conversation. So I was thinking about this too. I was wondering if Utkarsh even knew in the moment because we had talked about this. We talked about your directing
Oh,
potential on Ghost.
yeah.
So I want to know, has Utkarsh directed his episode yet? And if so, have you had the opportunity to shadow him?
That would be very funny. And he would enjoy every second of it. He has not. I believe. I don't actually. I believe that Rose is about to, and then I think he's the block after that. I think. Um, so I think he's. I think he might be episode 15, and we're about to start shooting 13. I think that's where. I think that's it. But don't quote me on that. But yeah, he's about to. I'm excited to see it. He's such a creative guy, and of course, the 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 perk of all of us, any of us directing, is we know the show and the process of it so well at this point. So we moving efficiently through it, but also finding those opportunities for creativity is something that we're all very familiar with. So we've experienced this with Rose, and Rose was excellent. I'm sure we're gonna have a great experience with Akarsh too.
Oh, I have no doubt whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna phrase this question this way because I am in the business of manifesting things.
Okay.
When you direct an episode of Ghosts, do you have a ghost directing wish list, like a particular character or a type of interaction you'd most want your episode to focus on?
Oh wow. The thing that I love, I guess there are two things that I love to do with our show. Um, One is the flashbacks are so great. I doubt that they will have deal with all the big set stuff with one of the ghosts direct or one of the cast directing, but that I think the advantage of our show or the fun of our show is that at any given point in the show, the audience knows way more than these ghosts do about everything, about the world and what's happened and all that. The one thing that the ghosts know more about is the history of their lives and what's happened on this plot of land. So those flashbacks that are like those world building things where we're planting a seed and then it's setting off like a domino effect of how when our show gets to be like a prequel to itself. I love that. And then the other thing I love is these people are trapped together for eternity and the storylines that are purely just these eight Muppets dealing with each other. There was an episode called Therapy that happened season 1 where the entire conceit of the show was just that everyone had to start being roommates. It was something so small And from that, we got Thor with these nightmares where he killed his best friend. We find out it was a squirrel, and then he ate his best friend. Right? We get Isaac coming out of the closet to Hetty. Like there's so many things where we just when you lean into the limitation of all these people just stuck in the house, and we get to play into the relationships between the ghosts that some of which have been are 500 years in the making. That's the stuff that is so exciting to me because it's stuff that only we can do.
I
What other
don't
show
blame you.
has relationships that have been all around that long? And the pettiness of it, like the thing that someone said 200 years ago, and it's like I'm still not over that, that kind of stuff. I love that stuff.
I like all of that, but I have a pitch for you.
Okay,
Here's what I think you should do.
yeah,
So, Ghosts is consistently great at doing holiday episodes.
yeah.
I think you should direct a Super Bowl themed episode.
Oh, that'd be fun. Oh my god, yeah.
I feel like there's something there.
Or like we've all like maybe everyone in the house saw Rudy for the first time or something, and so we're all just doing we're all just pretend or something. What would be a good? Or we all just saw The Sandlot for the first time, and now we're all just quoting it and obsessed with um we're playing game. We've come up with like a Ghost Olympics type of thing, something like that. But yeah, God, anything that would be so fun.
Going from Jurassic Park references to Sandlot references would speak to my heart so, so much.
Yes, it's the best. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll squeeze in a
Someone giving,
tease
someone giving
question.
the Ghost a halftime speech. That'd be so fun.
I would watch all of that. I'll
Yeah.
squeeze in a tease question because
Yeah.
the holidays are upon us. And again, you all always ace the holiday episodes. I know there's a Thanksgiving episode. I'm sure there's a Christmas episode around the corner. You could choose one or the other, but is there any holiday episode first you all achieve making one of those that you could tease for our viewers?
Something that I really enjoy that we do, and we don't do it very often. But when, to the extent that we can, our form kind of meets our content. So, like the example of that I would use is like Trevor's pants. Um, is the question is how did Trevor die? So it's a murder mystery, but because it's us, it's about a missing pair of pants, right? And we're kind of the whole thing is like following the clue to how did we get there and who knows what story and who putting that information together. So we do something similar for the Christmas episode where we're using the construct of a classic Christmas movie to explore the kind of defining dynamic of our show. Uh, that's new, and it's a really great two-parter. I haven't seen it, but on the page was fantastic, and it was a joy to make. So that's what I think that's I think I can tell you that and not get in trouble.
I'll take that tease. I'll end with one last tease type question because I love forcing all of you to give each other flowers. So,
Oh
in
yeah.
an effort to tease more of what's to come in season 5, can you tell me something one of your Ghost co stars has done in one of the episodes that you shot that would make you want to tell fans out there, like, you think you know how good they are, but wait until you see what they do in that episode?
Well, I'll give you one that you've already seen, which is I'm pretty sure the pages for we did the debate, right? That's what happens in the debate between Isaac and Flower.
The debate, yes, the debate happened.
I'm we shot it a while ago, but I'm fairly certain that those words came in while they were sleeping. So again, I haven't seen the episodes, but they had no time on that one, and from what I have heard, I was in that storyline. Though God, as a West Wing nut, I would have killed to be in that storyline. From what I've heard, Sheila and Brandon were incredible. Um, so that's a big thing, and that happens a lot because the nature of our show. And what else? Other flowers. Well, because we're on Christmas, I'll say there's just a possession coming around the corner that's just so well done.
It's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Oh,
I'll
yeah, good.
Sheila crushed that, and
Yeah,
adding that particular wrinkle to the character of
yeah.
Flower is a pretty genius thing that opens the door up to, again, so many more possibilities going forward.
And I'm fairly certain that was Sheila's pitch. She's a genius. To have she walks through someone who's high and she gets sober. Uh, yeah, such a fun idea. She's so good. She's so
Yeah.
good.
You are all so good. This show continues to delight me
Um,
nonstop. The biggest
you're the
smile on
best.
my face every time I get new episodes. I'm gonna say huge congratulations and thank you for sharing some of your experience with us.
Thank you for having me. You are the best.